This notice tells you that your landlord requires possession of your home.
Sarah is facing eviction, and it's through no fault of her own. Her landlady wants the house back and she's asked her to leave.
If you do not leave your home by the date given in Section 2, your landlord may apply to the court for an order requiring you to give up possession. My understanding is it will be either a hostel or shared accommodation or temporary housing. I am looking at other private rented. The rental charges have gone up around 12% in this area in the last 18 months, and they were already high. So that's priced me and people like me out completely, really.
During the pandemic, there was a ban on evictions, but that was lifted last summer. Now they're back. Since then, more than 1,000 tenants have been evicted from homes owned or managed by councils in Britain, according to figures obtained by Sky News. That's nearly 4 households each day. And more than 14,000 landlords started court proceedings to evict tenants from their own properties between October and December last year. And the cost of living crisis threatens to make many more tenants homeless.
So what we have here is a map of Leeds, and what it shows is where all our money buddies are. So each of those pins tells you where an advisor is that is going to help a client out of debt.
This charity in Leeds is seeing a sharp rise in calls from people struggling to make ends meet, including in areas that have never previously needed help.
And this is probably as good an illustration as ever of how the cost of living crisis can spread.
I think it's a really good way of putting it, because that is a good visual representation of how it's spreading. It's a cancer that's now bubbling through to so many areas that thought, I'm immune. We've never been as busy. It's record levels, let's put it that way.
The government says it's going to help. 80% of households will get a £150 council tax rebate, and all families will get a £200 loan to help with electricity bills. £65 million has already been given to councils in England to help vulnerable renters.
I wonder if it's cleared it then, or...
Jade is a debt advisor, and she's seeing up close the impact that the cost of living crisis is having.
Do you think that we're going to see a rise in evictions primarily because people are struggling with their utility bills and struggling to pay their rent?
Yeah, it's making that decision, what do I pay? Do I pay the rent? Do I pay for food, or do I put the heating on? What do I do? The income that they get just doesn't cover everything.
Do you mind if we keep our shoes on?
Sarah has been desperately looking for a new home.
Because of the way things are at the moment, we've literally got no time to make a decision, because I know that there'll be other people probably who've already viewed and will be viewing later today. It's good at the moment, it's just affordability at this stage.
A few days later, Sarah found a new home to rent. But with the lifting of eviction bans and the spiralling cost of living, renters face uncertain times ahead. Nick Martin, Sky News.